Hi, and welcome to another edition of Canadian Immigration Law Updates. My name is Nandi Deterville of Deterville Law Office. In today's updates, I will be discussing the express entry round of invitations to apply, the new pathway to permanent residence for Hong Kong residents, as well as the newly implemented travel restrictions into Canada. Let's get started, shall we? So, in today's updates regarding the express entry round of invitations to apply, the update is rather brief. Unfortunately, there have been no new updates in the last 2 weeks, as the last round of invitations was the round on January 21st, where Canadian experienced class candidates were issued invitations to apply. Typically, the IRCC has done these rounds of invitations every 2 weeks. There have been occasions when that did not happen, and simply the third week would have shown an invitation to apply round. And we're certainly hoping that that is the case in this instance, and that we will perhaps in our next update in 2 weeks, we can provide you with details of a round that was beneficial to the candidates in that pool. So to move on now to the new pathway regarding Hong Kong residents, it is a pathway that allows residents of Hong Kong to be able to apply to Canada for a open work permit, which would be valid for up to 3 years. That is indeed an excellent program. And though it is open to all residents of Hong Kong, there is important note regarding this program in that since the current travel restrictions apply to people outside of Canada, that the application process is probably going to be more beneficial to Hong Kong residents who are currently temporary resident in Canada. And so there are a couple of things that have to be satisfied in order for an applicant to be successful, including that they have had graduated with a Canadian post-secondary diploma or degree in the last 5 years, or currently hold a foreign credential that is equivalent, as well as that post-secondary program must have been in the last 2 years. So there are quite a few things that have to be satisfied in order to be successful in this application to the new pathway that has been created. But it is certainly going to be helpful to those persons who might have simply been in Canada visiting before the pandemic occurred, or currently a student and wasn't sure how to get back into Hong Kong, or was looking for opportunities to be able to be employed long term in Canada. And that would set them on this pathway to more permanent residence. Because of that experience, they would be able to gain with this open work permit. So the final update, and this one is it has created quite a buzz, and I needed to work with a few clients who were stuck or potentially stuck outside of the country, relates to the new rules regarding flights into sun destinations, is what was referred to by the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau back on January 29th. So Canada, as a result of its efforts to curb the spread of COVID-19, decided that it would cancel all flights and got an agreement with the Canadian Airlines to cancel all flights to sun destinations, mainly being defined by locations in the Caribbean as well as Mexico. It has been noted that flights to the sun destinations within the US mainland still exist. So, that being places like Florida are still open and there are flights going through there. So, those flights were canceled as of February 4th. I think most of the airlines finally canceled all of their flights to those destinations, and that again posed a great difficulty to many persons who had intentions to fly out there, but also to people who were in those destinations and had to get back to Canada. Again, with the current travel restrictions that were put in place in December, it is a requirement that all persons traveling into Canada present a negative PCR result in order to be allowed on a flight into Canada. And once they've gotten into Canada, you are required to quarantine for 14 days. The new restrictions also changed a little bit that requirement that Canadians or persons into Canada quarantine. It's no longer being allowed for persons to quarantine outside government facilities until they have received the result of a COVID test that would be administered on arrival into Canada. And there were discussions in the press when the Prime Minister announced that this quarantining in the government facility, as it's being described, may cost up to $2,000. It was unclear how that $2,000 was arrived at, and there was much debate about whether that was for one person, a family, what, additional family members in that situation would how much they would need to spend. There was certainly quite a lot of uncertainty relating to what was announced at that time, and so the anxiety of what people need to do in order to travel back and forth into the country is certainly heightened as a result of this announcement back on January 29th. So we're in this sort of predicament where so many things are changing quite rapidly. Clients are coming, calling in, sort of not sure how they need to navigate this new space. And it's certainly making everything in the immigration field in Canada quite exciting to learn all these new rules and what they mean and how they are going to be readily applied to specific situations. And so we will continue to look into this and read all that we can and provide our clients with the necessary information regarding their particular circumstance and how they can travel to and from Canada at this time and moving forward. We are certainly expecting that as time goes on, there will be adjustments to the travel restrictions. Who can and cannot fly in would certainly be defined continuously, as we have experienced in the last 11 months of this pandemic being at the shores of Canada. And we look forward to being able to provide the general public with the information that is available on the topic. So that being said, I think I've covered all our topics for today. And as such, do feel free again to contact me on my website, www.detervillelaw.com. I am also on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the future and providing you with another update in Canadian immigration law. Do have yourself a great week. Bye for now.